Hello and welcome everyone to the McKenna Center, home of the Seton Hill Griffins. Tonight, your Vulcans women's basketball will be versing the Seton Hill Griffins for their second road match of this week. I'm Addy Man, joined alongside the voice of Vulcan Sports, Mr. Jonathan Safe. Safe, how you feeling here tonight?
I'm feeling good. You know, I'm hoping the Vulcans can bounce back after this tough losing streak, but I mean, what a better place to do it here in Seton Hill.
Definitely. It is going to be another good PSAC West matchup. Fortunately, the Vulcans fell to the Crimson Hawks of Indiana University of Pennsylvania on Saturday, which definitely dropped them in the PSAC West ranking. So this would be a good bounce-back game, as Sape mentioned, to come back and see if they can kind of climb that leaderboard once again and get back into playoff potential.
Yeah, both teams just in kind of opposite directions. Seton Hill on a 5-game winning streak compared to the 3-game losing streak for the Vulcans. And like you talked about, this game is huge for conference standings and conference implications. Both of these teams sitting at 6-5 in the conference. Then after this game, Seton Hill faces off against the 3 teams that that California just lost to, and Gannon, Mercyhurst, and IUP. The 3 games after this one, so it's going to be a tough game for. This game is going to be very important for both teams in terms of standings.
Definitely, especially as momentum turner. Currently, the Vulcans are riding a 3-game losing streak, falling to Gannon, Mercyhurst, and then IUP in that order. So hopefully they can get some momentum cooking here tonight on the road. The Road Warriors, along with them, joining them on this ride also. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have some starting lineups for both teams. For your Vulcans, the same starting 5 as we've seen all season. Lloyd, Harrington, Smith, Harris, and Fink will be the starting 5 for them. And then for the Griffins, it'll be Fry, Seton, Thomas, Cowan, and Haralson will be the starting 5 for them. And, I mean, a couple of new players in this team. Seton, graduate student, 5'10", from Brownsville High School. Shout out our good friend and our director, Gary Smith. She just transferred in from W&J. And then Haralson, the junior forward, she transferred in from Monmouth, which is a Division I school. So 2 very good transfers on this Seton Hill team and big contributors to them so far. So hopefully the Vulcans can keep them in check.
Harrelson on the Seton Hill side getting tipped, and that's going to be Harrison. Now it's going to go on that Seton Hill side. They're going to take that offensive possession right to start off with. That is Seton having possession at the ball at the top of the key, drops it off to the outside. Seton Hill is now trying to cook something up. Harrelson has the ball turned, kicks it out to the outside to the Griffins. Griffins now can't find an open lane, tries to go up for the 3, and gets that one to drop is Cowan.
Yeah, great offensive possession that time by the Griffins. Just good ball movement, able to just find the perfect spot, and Cowan did a great job at getting open and knocking down the shot.
Sierra Lloyd mishandles it from the logo, able to get control, kicks it out to Fink. Fink trying to drive into the lane, bounce backs it to, sorry, I'm having a blank on the names right now. That was Harris that she bounced past to. Couldn't get control of that one. Now we're going to get things back underway here. Seton Hill has control of the ball following those posts. Another miscue on the dribble from Seton Hill, and that's going to go soaring out of bounds and be Vulcan basketball.
Yeah, good defense that time by Harris. Just smacked that one away from Haralson, and it's going to be important for the Vulcans today to force these turnovers, force these mistakes, because a lot of these teams in the last couple of losses have been focusing on that inside paint pressure, having these big players scoring points in the post against the Vulcans, and the Vulcans haven't had an answer, so they need to be able to get turnovers in the front court.
And that's Fink putting 2 on the board for the Vulcans, 3-2 in this opening quarter. Going to go back on the other way on that Seton Hill side. Seton Hill kicks it out to the outside to number 14 Cowan. Now that's going to be Harrelson taking control of it, trying to find some space again. The Griffins leaving it wide open for 3, off the mark there. Gets a hand on it is Lloyd. Then that's going to be Harrelson that gets a hand on it there to put it up for the Griffins. It's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to go back the other way, and it's going to be Vulcan's ball.
Yeah, Haralson is going to be someone that's going to cause the Vulcans a ton of problems. 6'1", and she's just absolutely massive under there. So good job by Fink that time to just get her off of the ball, try to force the ball out of bounds after she was able to get that offensive board and give the Vulcans the ball back.
Harrington now has it off the pass from Lloyd, back to Lloyd in the corner. You can see the Griffins putting some pressure on defense, leaving Harris wide open. Can't get that one to drop. Harris fighting for the rebound, still fighting in the paint there, puts it up again, can't get it to go. It's going to go out of bounds, and Seton Hill's going to come down with possession.
Seton Hill playing looks like a little bit of a 3-2 zone on defense, and that time Harris just had the space, was able to get a nice shot, but just a little bit too short on her layup attempt, got her on board, and just could not finish the second attempt.
Seton kicks it out to Fry. Fry now trying to take control of the offense on that Griffin side. That is Cowan having the ball at the top of the key. Sierra Lloyd on the defensive end for the Vulcans. Cowan trying to make some space into the paint. Cowan still trying to weigh her options. Can't find anything past Sierra Lloyd. Kicks it out to Seton. Seton now finds Harrison in the paint. And Sierra Lloyd rips that ball away and is going to go barreling down the other side. Sierra Lloyd now slowing down the pace of play, trying to conduct offense, finds Harris in the paint and gets that to go 4-3. Vulcans. Harris gets both of those 2 points now on the board.
Yeah, beautiful play, all started by Harrington, came over on the double team, stole that ball away, and Lloyd in transition, beautiful play, one of the best playmakers in the entire conference. Looks off the defender and able to find Harris underneath for the easy basket.
And Cowan has it. Fancy dribble moves off Harrington. Can't get it to go off the mark. And that's going to be Harris who comes down with it. And you can see that Vulcan bench hyped up as Lloyd finds Harrington. Bounce back to Harris in the paint. And Harris is going to get another one to drop, 6-3.
Yeah, great ball movement and a beautiful extra pass that time by Harrington. Could have taken the shot herself, but unselfish play. Played one more pass and gave it off to Harris, who had a much better shot. And now the Vulcans find themselves with a 3-point lead.
I'm telling you, it sounds like a Vulcans home game in here. Hearing that defense chant coming from that Vulcan bench. Seton Hill has it. They're able to find Harrison, leaving Seton wide open from the outside and gets that one to drop.
Yeah, you cannot.
That's going to be Cowan, not Seton, with that 3-point.
You cannot leave Cowan wide open like that on the season. Shooting about 30%, so she's going to be able to knock down those shots more often than not.
Cowan got a hand on that ball and was able to hand it off to Seton. Now trying to find an open lane, and Sierra Lloyd is able to rip it and prevent the basket, but can't stop it from going out of bounds.
Yeah, great effort that time by Lloyd coming back. After that turnover, she came back, made up for her mistake and prevented the easy basket. There were a couple substitutions made by the Griffins. Number 3, Helene Cowan came in, as well as number 15, Corrine Eisner, who checked into the game as well.
Cowan now has at the top of the key. Harris putting the pressure on her early. Cowan trying to find some space in the paint. Harris still trying to be all man there. Double team from Smith and Harrington, and now they're going to reset with Cowan having it at the top of the key. Drops it off to the other Cowan. There are multiple Cowans in this game just to keep you all on your toes. So this is going to be fine now. Drops it off. Outside is Cowan off the mark. Harrington comes down with it. Bounce back to Lloyd, and they reset on the offensive measure of the Vulcans.
A good defensive possession from the Vulcans, and they got to keep an eye out because, like I said, number 15, Corrine Eisner, a 6'2" freshman, and they had her on Harrington, so the Vulcans did a great job at preventing her from getting the ball at all in that possession.
Harrington wide open. You know she's going to take it from there, off the mark and off the rim. That's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to be staying Vulcan ball.
Yeah, good job by Fink. Even though she isn't able to get the rebound that time, her presence underneath the basket is second to none and forces Eisner to knock that ball out of bounds and give the Vulcans another possession back.
Sarah Lloyd to inbounds it here, finds Harris, and they're going to call a travel on Harris. No good basket.
Yeah, just got a little bit too antsy there, received the pass and just took a couple steps, and right idea, but just could not execute that time.
Seton Hill now going to try and get some points on the board here to lead this guy up. Jordan Smith on the defensive end, kicks it out to the outside. Is Cowan now having the ball, drops it off to the other Cowan. That's Harris on the defensive, drops it off to the Cowan again. I'm just going to keep saying that because it works for me at this point. Cowan now in the corner, finds Seton in the paint. Seton puts it up, can't get it to drop. Fink's going to come down with it. And Sarah Lloyd just says, here you go. Harrington put 2 on the board.
Yeah, Sierra Lloyd was watching some football last night. That was a beautiful, accurate
That was a
shot.
Noah Mitchell pass.
It absolutely was. Shout out QB1, but great job by her and a good job by Harrington for running the floor, getting out there and giving Lloyd the outlet to make that pass to.
Seton kicks it off to Cowan. Back to Seton. Seton trying to weigh her options. Sarah Lloyd on the defensive. Harris is able to get a hand on that one for the Vulcans. Sarah Lloyd's going to come down with it. Bounce pass again to Harrington. Miscue on there. Fight for the ball. It's still alive, and it's in the hands of the Griffins. Griffins are going to now take it back the other way. Fry's taking control of the offense. Finds it to Eisner. Eisner, no good shot off that one. Lloyd's going to come down with it. Sarah Lloyd trying to conduct her offense just a little bit. Finds Fink in the paint. Fink puts it up. Short on that one, and Griffins are going to be able to come down with the ball for the board there. Griffins now barreling back the other way. That's Cowan. Cowan is a foul called there. It's going to go against.
That one's going to go against Lloyd, I believe. That'll be her first and the team's first, and that'll take us to our first media timeout. And while we have a second, we can take a look at the tail of the tape coming into this game. Points-wise, I mean, both of these seem very similar in terms of, in all regards. The Vulcans scoring 65.1 points per game compared to the Griffins 67.9. Field goal percentage largely similar as well, 38.4% for the Vulcans compared to the 41.3 for the Griffins. 3-point percentage, same deal, 25.9% from the Vulcans, 28.3% for the Griffins. Free throw percentage, 68.5 for the Vulcans compared to the 69.9 for the Griffins. And then rebounds, Vulcans edging it just slightly, 40.4 compared to the Griffins, 39.2. And I mean, both teams very similar in all stats.
It's a close matchup here.
And I mean, that reflects as well in the standings as both teams tied in the standings at this so far in conference play. Both teams sitting at 6-5. The Vulcans at 10-7. Seton Hill at 13-7, having played this a couple of extra games. And so, like we talked about earlier on, it's going to be a big test here for both teams because they need this win to be able to get some better positioning inside of that in the PSAC West Conference.
An interesting stat also from that Seton Hill side, all 6 of their points that are on the board have been scored by Haley Cowan.
I mean, she's getting in there, you know, 2 3-pointers. Something that the Vulcans need to address is make sure that she doesn't get a lot of open looks because so far she's proven that she can knock them down.
Now Seton Hill to keep this bounce. Tomas on that one loses control, but we're able to gain possession. And now that's Cowan at the top of the key. Cowan trying to find a lane, kicks it out to Fry. Fry now trying to weigh her options, kicks it out to the other Cowan. I'm going to assume they're sisters at this point. I feel like that's a fair assumption.
They're both freshmen from Chartiers Valley, so I assume they're even twins.
And now foul is going to be called against the Griffins, and it's going to go back the other way.
Yeah, Helene Cowan, number 3, the freshman guard, 5'9", from Chartiers Valley, and then 14, Haley Cowan, another 5'9" freshman guard from Chartiers Valley. So the Cowan twins are doing a good job here so far, and the Vulcans need to be able to keep them under control.
Sarah Lloyd has it at the top of the key. Wayner options, kicks it out to Smith. Smith debated the shot, didn't go for it. Now Fink has it in the key, finds Harris. Harris puts it up and gets it to go.
And Harris not typically a large part of this offense. There's a lot with Fink and Lloyd, but Harris so far in this game has found herself in some good positions underneath the basket, and she's doing a great job at finishing. I mean, she already has 8 points in this game.
Cowan has it at the top of the key. Harris on the defensive, kicks it out to the outside to Fry. Kicks it out wide open from 3. Can they get another one to drop? No, they cannot. Harris is going to come down with it for the Vulcans. Now Sierra Lloyd's going to come back the other way. Lloyd finds Harrington, stolen away, and almost takes the head off the referee. It's going to be Vulcans basketball after that tip from the Griffins. Finks to inbounds it, throws it off to Lloyd. Let's see what Coach Strom has this offense cooking on this play. Sarah Lloyd finds Harris wide open to paint, debating the shot, tries to find a lane, and gets blocked from the Griffins. Should still be Vulcan basketball. I'm waiting on that official call from the referee. And
it looks like it will be as Lloyd going to go take the inbound. Great defensive effort there that time by number 22, Madeline Fike. Or excuse me, that was Haralson who came into the game.
Now Fink just says, here you go, I'm going to put it down, and puts 2 on the board for the Vulcans. Now going to go back the other way with the Griffins. That's Cowan trying to control the offense. Cowan now has it on the corner there. Lloyd on the defensive end for the Vulcans. Thomas now kicks it out to the outside to Fry. Fry now feeling the pressure from the Vulcan Heat. Finds the man open right there. Coach Strom is doing her best to control that defense from the sideline. Kicks it out to Cowan once again, trying to find a lane as Cowan finds the open man for the extra pass and can get it to drop.
Yeah, this motion-based offense from Seton Hill doing a great job at just finding little bits of space, a little bit of a gap for them to exploit, just moving all around the court, and finally Haralson was able to get wide open and make an easy basket.
And now Harris once again with the put back and throws it in. Interesting note, that's a play that we typically see run against the Vulcan defense, and they can't stop it. So they say, you know what, if we can't stop it, let's just steal it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's working well, obviously there's something to it, so implementing it into your own offense and adapting is always a good thing.
Harrelson throws another one down for the Griffins and now makes this a 4-point game. Lloyd going to control that offense once again as she crosses the logo. Trying to slow the pace of play down just a little bit. Conducts Harrington from the offensive line. And that's going to be Fink who gets a hand on it, and a fight for it goes off the shoe of Harris, and it's going to go back the other way as the Griffins take control.
Yeah, unfortunately, the pass by Lloyd just a little bit off the mark, but it was going to end up being Vulcan basketball, but Rachel Fink there just could not get out of the way in time, and then she tried to let it go through her legs, and it just hit off of one of them, went out of bounds.
That's going to go back the other way with the Griffins taking control of it. Kicks it out to the outside, trying to find an open lane. Sarah Lloyd lets her slip by her. Can she get it up? No, they cannot. It's going to come down in the hands of Smith. Smith now taking control of it. Throws it off to Fink. Fink now with the old behind the back dribble move. Finds Harris and Harrington, and now to Smith, and Smith puts it down for three.
Yeah, picking up where she left off on the weekend against IUP. I mean, in that second half, I remember she came out and knocked down 3 or 4 three-pointers in that third quarter, and she's hopefully, it's a good look for the Vulcans if she could start to get hot here again.
Harrelson now has it, trying to find somebody. They leave him lane wide open are the Vulcans, and that's going to be another Seton Hill point. Fry credited with that last point there, as it's going to go back the other way now. Sierra Lloyd has it by the scoring table. Trying to set the pick is Fink, and a foul is going to be called there. Looks like they just kind of tripped over each other.
Yeah, Fry. They're going to get Fry for the reach-in. Vulcans are going to make a substitution. They're going to bring in number 3, Alicia Young, in place of number 23, Alicia Harris. And after that foul, the shot clock's turned off, so 11.4 left to play. And looks like the Vulcans are going to hold it for the last shot of the quarter.
12-17 currently. Your Vulcans are leading. Another big game in terms of PSAC West standings. And that's going to be Fink to come down with that bucket. And a half-court heave-oh! And that was a really good attempt from Fry on that end of the Griffins.
Yeah, and even so, the referee on the near side waved it off because I don't think she just did not get it off in time. But that's the end of the first quarter, and the Vulcans got to be happy with themselves. Like we talked about, tough game, a tough stretch of games, but so far looking good in this bounce back. But while we have a second, make sure to check out Vulcan Village. If you're a California member, you're a California student, and you're looking for a place to stay, the Vulcan Village is the place to be. Check out their website on screen. You can schedule a tour today for any of the rooms. I know there's single rooms or single, like
guaranteed single room.
Guaranteed single room, but you can live by yourself. There's 4-person room, 2-person room,
different floor
stuff
plans.
Like that. So
24-hour convenience mart. All the amenities you could ask for.
Everything you've ever wanted and more. So check out Vulcan Village today.
Also like to give a little shout out to our little Schmiskin on the floor right now. Nate. He's taking some photos for both teams.
Yeah, our little Schmitzkit, Nate Kurtz.
Great guy.
Yeah. Check him out on Instagram. He's actually right behind us.
Oh, is he up? Oh.
The Thunder Cheeks Photography. Check it out. He takes the best pictures around, you know. He's now eating some cheese, and we're going to get out of this quarter. I mean, there are a few things to look out here for the Vulcans. Alicia Harris, 4 for 7, 8 points for her, and 4 rebounds already, plus a steal and a block. And so she's really filling up the stat sheet so far. And Raja Fink as well, 3 for 4, 6 points for her, 3 rebounds and an assist, and then 5 assists already for Sierra Lloyd in this game. So the Vulcans doing it all on offense so far.
Something we're not usually used to seeing. They're mostly a defensive-heavy team. That's Smith right now going to put it in for 2 more on this board to add on to that Vulcan lead.
And with that the Vulcans are now 10 for 15, so shooting 67% from the field, which is something that we're not used to seeing. Usually this team, like you talked about, not the greatest offensively, more of a defensive specialist team, but they're able to knock them down so far.
And that's going to be a miscue shot from the Griffins. They're able to come down with the board on that one, and they're trying to find somebody that's going to be Seton, who lets it fly out of bounds. And it looks like it's going to stay on the Griffin side, as one of the Vulcans must have got a hand in there before it soared out.
Yeah, just went off of Sierra Lloyd, I believe, out of bounds. So the Griffins have another chance at it, but only 16 seconds left on the shot clock, so I have to be mindful of the time.
They do have time to run a play if they're looking, and they're going to call it not enough time. Sorry, too much time holding the ball there.
Yeah, a 5-second violation on the inbound. Good defense that time by the Vulcans, not allowing any easy inbound pass and forcing another turnover here in this game. That's going to be the 6th one of the game for the Griffins.
It's going to be Young now, blocked by the Griffins. It's going to go back the other way. Fry has a lane. Harrington gets a hand on it. Fry loses control, but he's going to reset there. Lloyd on the back end of it, trying to play the defense. And it's going to be an and one for the Griffins.
Yeah, Harrington nearly able to do just enough to force that possession off. Got back in time, forced Fry out, but great find by Fry to find Seton on the drive. And Seton, like we talked about, the graduate transfer in from W&J from our director's zone, Brownsville, Pennsylvania. So great finish by her, and has her chance to convert the and one play. The second highest score on this team as well, coming into this game, averaging about 12.3 points per game.
You know what was a funny stat?
What's
Especially, yeah, I like the enthusiasm on that. Thank you, Save. So you know how we talked about in the IUP game when the Vulcans came out and scored 3 after 3 after 3?
Yeah.
Seton did that by herself last game when they played Bloomsburg.
I mean, she's a marksman.
And that's going to be Harris trying to put it up, and they call that basket. Looks like they're going to get the and one also as a revenge. So that's going to be Fink. No, sorry, I was right. I doubted myself. It's going to be Harris.
It's going to be Harris once again. And I mean, she's doing it all down there underneath. 10 points for her. Has the chance to convert the N1 as well. And they saw what happened on the other end. And Harris is like, I got to do it myself on the other end, get the N1 play.
Harris now shot is up and no good, too strong there. And Cito's going to come down with it for the Griffins. Half court heave to Count. Count is going to go up for the shot and gets it to go.
You cannot leave Hallie Cowan wide open. On the season, has taken 123 pointers on the season. And so you know she's going to shoot. And so if you give her even a little bit of space, and that time she just got out there in transition and knocked it down.
Cowan's accounted for half of the points on that Griffin side. That's going to be Harrington to match Count with a 3 of her own. You know she's a sharpshooter when you leave her open like that. Now Fry is going to kick it out to the outside on that Griffin side. Back to Count on top here. Drops it off to Fry. Fry now weighing her options. Finds the man in the paint there. And back to Fry. Fry really does not have any incredibly great options. Leaving a man wide open is Seton, and Seto's going to come down with that.
Decent defense that time by Harrington, but just did not close out quickly enough. Seton on the season shooting 37% from 3, so you know she's going to knock it down.
Harrington, they're going to call it out, and a foul called there. It's going to go back the other way on Griffin's ball here.
Yeah, that time, though, Harrington received that pass, but just had her foot on the out-of-bounds line, so lack of spatial and court awareness that time by Harrington. Not something we see too often from her and from the Vulcans, but just got a little bit unlucky there.
Especially because that's a play they conduct fairly often, leaving her wide open in the corner, and they're going to call a foul there. And it's going to be against California.
That one's going to go against number 23, Alicia Harris. That'll be her first, just a push off the ball, and that'll give the Griffins the ball back once again with a new 20 on the shot clock for them.
And now to inbounds that for the Griffins. Cowan trying to find an open lane. And they're going to call it on the other way. Looks like a double dribble there from Cowan. It's going to go back and be Vulcan's ball.
That one's going to go against Seton. I believe they got her for the moving screen, the offensive foul. So that's going to be her first, and that the team second. So both teams already at 2 fouls in this quarter.
Harrington now trying to find an open lane. Pass from Lloyd. Back to Lloyd now. And a reset, find Harrington wide open, leaving her wide open once again. And 2 for 2 is Harrington.
You cannot give her that much space.
Fry now to have it. Jordan Smith on the defensive end for the Vulcans. Seton Hills trying to scramble against this pressure defense from California. Seton now spin move against Fink, and that spin move is going to be a little too close to the line there.
Yeah, good defense.
Oh, is there a foul called prior to stepping out?
I believe they did call a foul. That one's going to go against Fink. That'll be her second. So it's something to keep an eye on. It looks like the Vulcans are going to make the switch. They're going to bring in Talia Gilliard, number 12, to kind of preserve Fink because you don't want her to get a third before the end of the first half.
Got a little lucky there with that foul because you definitely was heading out of bounds with Seton. So able to conserve that. Fry now has it. Fry with a bounce pass, and they're going to get tripped up in the paint there off Gilliard.
Yeah, good pass by Fry, able to find Seton underneath. Seton got good position over Gilliard, and that time Gilliard tried to get up in time, but just caught Seton on her way up. Seton on the season, 77% free throw shooter.
She scored 9 points last game as her first shot is up and good. Second shot here for Seton.
Yeah, while we weren't saying anything, all I heard Gary and then the girl doing graphics, Claire, I just heard them saying, "Oh, she's the Brownsville girl," and that's all I could think about.
Sorry, that was actually very funny. The Washington and Jefferson transfer definitely making her mark on this Griffins program. Now Harrington has the pass here. Wayne Robson drops it off to Gilliard. Gilliard now coming in off of the Fink substitution. Pressure defense coming from that Griffin side. They're really trying to dip into this Vulcan lead. Blocked by Fry. The pass from Harrington. Fry now going to go bounding back to court. She's going to try and do it all herself and can get it to go. What an impressive basket that was by Fry.
And she took it coast to coast, stole it away. Good job by her getting up there and just getting a hand on that one. And then on the other end, a beautiful Euro step to get past Harrington into the paint and able to get the shot off.
Almost ran into our little Schmiskit over there taking photos. Oh, Gary's laughing at that one. And then we're going to get back to the action. Harrington finds Harris in the paint, and Harris can get another one to drop.
Yeah, not the most clean-looking shot that time by Harris, but got the shooter's roll. I mean, she already has 12 points in this game, which I'm not sure her season high so far here for California, but she's got to be nearing it.
And that's going to be Griffins to come down with another one. That's going to be Corrine Eisner for the two-pointer on that one. Now Sierra Lloyd can take it back the other way. 31-27, 5.5 minutes left in the McKenna Center for the Griffins. Lloyd now has it in the corner, getting double team coverage, and that's going to be Gilliard wide open. Doesn't take the shot, finds Harrington. That little save pass. I was going to say Lloyd. Harrington was able to come down with it, and now Lloyd just says, what the heck, I'm going to throw it up for three, and doesn't get it to drop.
Yeah, just that one a little bit off the mark, just didn't get enough oomph behind it.
Say that again, Safe. That was enjoyable.
Enough oomph.
There we go. And now we're going to go back to the action. Fry now has it at the top of the key. That's going to be Harris on the defensive end for the Vulcans. Fry now drops it off to McCown. Sorry, not McCown, to just Cown. And then she drops it off again to the Griffins' side. They're still playing some pressure defense. Are the Vulcans? Fry now has it and can't get it to drop, and they're lucky to not get the foul, but they do get the board and able to put it down for two.
Yeah, it looks like the Vulcans had it all answered. It was a good block that time by Harris, but just couldn't keep control of it. And great extra effort by Seton to follow up on it.
That's Harris in the paint there. Can't get it to drop. And then that's going to be Harrington now for three. Wide open once again, and she can get another one.
And with that make, she's 3 for 4 already in the game from three-point land. You cannot, like I said, you cannot leave her that wide open because you know she's going to take it. And so far in this game, she's proved that she's going to knock it down.
Fry now trying to conduct her offense on that Griffins side of the court. Screen set from the Griffins. Fry weighing her options. She does have a three-point shot if she decides to take it. Now Harris closes that gap, drops it off to Seton, and that's going to be Count. And Seton back in there trying to drive in, can't get it to drop, but they will get the foul call, and they're going to have some subs coming in shortly.
Yeah, beautiful give and go between Seton and Eisner, and that time Seton on the follow-up, able to just get good position inside. And she did she tried to do what she did before, just lay that one in high off the glass. Couldn't get it to go, but did get fouled. And that will send us to another immediate timeout. While we have a second, we can take a look at the conference standings so far. Like we talked about, a very close contest. Gannon sets up top in that one, 9-2 overall, 17-2 overall in play, 9-2 in conference, and then IUP and Pitt Johnstown both sitting at 8-3, Edinburgh at 7-4, and then Seton Hill, Mercyhurst, and Cal all sitting at 6-5, followed by the Rocket 4-7, and Clarion at 3-8. So it's going to be a highly contested fight for that top end of the conference, and like we talked about, it's very packed in the middle. California and Seton both sitting at 6-5, but only 3 games back of top. So every single game down the stretch is going to be super, super important for these teams to win.
That loss to IUP on Saturday was really crucial in terms of the PSAC West rankings. Now IUP pulls within 1 game of Gannon and 2 ahead of your California Vulcans. We do have some comeback games coming up here shortly. We got Mansfield on Wednesday. Obviously, that's not a PSAC West game, but it's still a big game enough for the Vulcans in terms of overall record and standings. And then this weekend we'll be traveling to Edinburgh, and that'll be another great game as they're shortly ahead of the Vulcans by 1 game.
Yeah, the next stretch of games, like you said, Mansfield on Wednesdays and crossover play. Then I believe it's UPJ at home on Saturday. Then next week to be traveling at Clarion and then at Edinburgh. So 4 games in a row. And if you're California, you need to be able to win this one here to take back home for the 2-game home stretch and not take this 2-game like away stint without a win.
That's going to be Seton dropping both of her foul shots on that one. 34-31, 3:49 left here in the second prior to halftime. And now it's going to be Gilliard with the foul call. Now it's going to go back the other way. Oh, it's going to be called against the Griffins, and it will stay Vulcans basketball.
Yeah, that one's going to go against number 3, Helene Cowan. And after that last foul from the Vulcans, they have now sent Seton Hill into the double bonus. So any foul that the Vulcans commit from now on will send Seton Hill to the free throw line.
And that's going to be Lloyd who rims that one out, and it's going to go back the other way with Cowan trying to take control of the offense there. You see a lot of different guards taking control of the offense for the Griffins. They have such a deep roster to keep this going. Cowan now with the pull-up 3 and gets it to go.
Yeah, Cowan to Cowan. And both of them just playing 1-2s with each other, handing it off, passing it back, and that time it was number 14, Haley Cowan, who had just enough space over Lloyd to knock down that shot and ties things up here. The Vulcans had a nice lead, but Seton Hill able to fight back.
Harrington, what not? Let's just keep going from the three-point line, makes it another one, and adds to a 37-34 lead. And now a foul is going to be called against California.
Yeah, Harris, I believe we're going to call that one against 23 Lee Harris. That'll be her, or no, they're going to get Jordan Smith with that one, number 22. And she was just a little bit late on that rotation towards the baseline. Just tried to come over, tried to get in front of her to stop the drive from Mankins, number 33, who's now at the free throw line, but just got enough in her way to bump her and draw the contact for the foul.
And then we had some substitutions on both sides. Fry's going to be coming in for Cowan on the Seton Hill side, and then for the Vulcans, you had Young coming in for Fink, I believe, and Smith. Sorry, for Smith. Just to preserve them for some foul trouble here that could come in the later stretch, and that second shot is up and no good. Now it's going to be Vulcans ball, 2:49 left before halftime. Definitely want that momentum going into the half. Bounce pass to Harris. Harris trying to find some space, can't get it to go, and it will go back out of bounds on the hands of the Vulcan.
Yeah, you can see the Seton Hill bench not too happy about that.
Oh, foul called before the ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah, they're going to call a shooting foul against number 22, Haralson. And Haralson was upset because she thought that she got enough on the ball, but there wasn't any contact. And it looked pretty strange that the shot went up, but she caught Harris on her way up, and now Harris went to the free throw line, did not make the first one, though.
Second shot for Harris here to try and add on to that lead. Currently a one-basket game. Harris' second shot, and she is able to drop that one. Fry now to take control of the offense for the Griffins. Harrington on that defensive end for California. Fry finds Cowan on the outside. Cowan now weighing her options. Harrelson has it, trying to find a lane of her own. They'll go for 3. No good on that one, but can they get the board? They can get the board, and a foul. It'll be a foul called, and it will stay in possession of the Griffins. It's going to be a shooting foul on that one. So the foul is going to be called on Alicia Harris, her second foul of this game.
Yeah, so Harris, Smith, and Fink all on 2 fouls. Like I said, that's something to be careful about because you don't want one of them. You can't really make any more substitutions now. You don't want to leave any one of them with 3 fouls going into the halftime just because they need 5 to foul out. And we saw that at the end of the last game. I believe it was Harris who fouled out, and it really hurt the Vulcans going down the stretch.
That's going to be Makins, who can't make either one of those foul shots, wasting a precious opportunity to cut that Vulcan lead and potentially tie them, but still going to be a 2-point Vulcan lead. Lloyd now half court heaves it to Young, and Young can put that one down.
Yeah, good job that time by Lloyd, just conducting the offense.
That was Gilliard.
And just moving around and had Gilliard wide open underneath the basket, looked off one of the defenders and just made a beautiful pass to her, and Gilliard able to finish.
Cowan finds Fry. Fry pulls up for 3. No good off the board there, but they're able to get the rebound. Cowan now tries to take a 3 of her own, and they get it on the second chance.
And with that made 3, she's, I believe, 5 for 5 now from 3, or actually, yeah, 5 for 5 from 3. So the Vulcans need to be able to do a better job at getting in front of her and stopping her from shooting.
Harrington trying to with the revenge shot. She gets that one to drop lights out from the three-point line is Harrington.
And she's 5 for 5. Harrington's now 5 for 6. So right now, so far, it's been a shooting contest between Harrington and Cowan, and so far it's been favoring the Vulcans.
Seton now tries to put it up, and that's going to go wide. A little rainbow shot right into the hands of Gilliard, and now Lloyd's going to take it. 1 minute and some change left before halftime. Vulcans have some time. 43-39 off that Harrington three-pointer. Smith back into the game. Sorry, that's Young, and that's going to be off to Gilliard. Gilliard now pulls up jumper, no good, and that's going to be Young who gets the rebound. Fight for it. Cito's able to rip it down into the hands of Harris. Foul called, and it should be. Scott, I'm waiting for that official call, and the foul is going to be against Seton Hill.
Yeah, they're going to get number 22, Haralson, once again. And the Vulcans, now being in the bonus themselves, will send Harris to the line once again. But I want to talk about Hallie Harrington for a second. She's been lights out, and it's been really since that Gannon game a few weeks ago. And that loss, though, Harrington really started stepping into this offense more and more. And she's been doing a great job at proving herself. She's been able to knock down these shots. She's been an offensive powerhouse, especially from three. And she's kept the Vulcans in a lot of these games. And so far on the night, already 17 points for her, along with 2 assists, a rebound, and a steal. So she's been lights out for the Vulcans.
Harris is able to get one of those to drop. Last couple games, we've seen Harrington a little struggle from that three-point line, that she's able to just make so many money shots. But now, glad to see her back looking on the mark here. Cito now has it in the paint, and it's going to be a travel called against Cito, and it's going to be Vulcan's ball.
And this is a good chance for the Vulcans to swing the momentum going into halftime. After those free throws, they're up by 6 with 35 and a half left. And if you're able to take this time, get off one more good shot, and able to get it to go down, you're going to have a nice, comfortable lead going into half.
Yeah, 30 seconds while Lloyd crosses the timeline there. They have plenty of time to run a play if they need it. They're going to hold on to the ball. Harrington to Lloyd. Lloyd now has it, weighing her options. Trying to thread the needle with that pass. It's going to be blocked by the Griffins.
It was a good idea because she tried to do what she did earlier, find Gilliard wide open on that backside, but more aware this time are the Griffins on defense, but the Vulcans still have time. 15 seconds left in the shot clock and 20 left here in the game, so they do have time to get another shot off.
It's going to be Gilliard with the pull-up jumper. Can't get it to go. Fight for it. Lloyd saves it from going out. Harris throws it down. Credit Sierra Lloyd on keeping that ball alive. Now Fry has it. Just shy of 10 seconds left. Trying to find the space, and they're going to call that one out, and it's going to be Vulcan's ball. Yeah, and the crowd's not too happy with that.
Yeah, that was a tough call. Looks like you said, maybe just had her foot on the out-of-bounds line. And like I said, there was a good chance for the Vulcans to swing, and they can make it a 10-point game if they're able to knock this down.
And Lloyd! Oh, that's going to be too strong as they collide with each other. And as my good friend Jonathan Sape says...
Yeah, they came off. The glasses came off.
It wouldn't be a Vulcans women's basketball game without Sierra Lloyd's glasses falling off. Yeah, that's how we know we're here.
Absolutely, and that was a great first half from the Vulcans. Exactly what they needed. They're looking great here, trying to bounce back after those 3 losses.
And we're going to go to halftime with the score of 47-39. Your California Vulcans in the lead. Stay tuned. You're watching CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the McKenna Center, home of the Seton Hill Griffins. Tonight, your women's Vulcan, I almost said volleyball. Good God, I'm still in a volleyball state of mind down here. Your Vulcans women's basketball has been squaring up against the Griffins of Seton Hill. Currently, they are leading 47-39. We're going to take a look at some halftime stats for you. Right now with field goals, the Vulcans are leading with 19-29 over the Seton Hills 13-27. Now with three-pointers, that has been the crucial difference of all the three-pointers made. Most of them have been from Harrington on that California side, with a scoring leaders being Harrington and Harris for California. And next to free throws, 3 and 5 for California and 7 and 9 for the Griffins. And then rebounds has been another stat in favor of the Vulcans, 16-11, and then turnovers both are tied at 8. And we're going to take a look at some PSAC West standings for you.
Yeah, like we talked about, this game's super important for both teams in terms of conference seeding. The Golden Knights of Gannon sit alone up top, 9-2 in conference play, 17-2 overall. Not ranked yet, but have received some nationally ranked votes to become one of the top 25 teams in the country. Following them, one game back is tied with IUP and Pitt Johnstown, both at 8-3 overall. IUP 13-3 in overall, and Pitt Johnstown 11-6. And then Edinburgh, the Fighting Scots, 7-4 in conference play, 10-6 overall. And then Seton Hill, Merciers, and California all at 6-5 in conference play. And then following them is Slippery Rock at 4-7 and Clarion at 3-8. So the middle of the pack, very, very close. So every single game is super important.
Haley Cowan going to inbound this one for the Griffins, throws it off to Fry. Fry now trying to slow things down. Off to Cowan once again, double team. Finds Makins in the paint. Vulcan's got a hand on that. That's Sarah Lloyd who gets a hand on it. And Fink's able to come down with that one. Now Lloyd's going to cross the stripe and hand it off to Harrington. Harrington weighing her options. Fry now on that defensive end for the Griffins. And you can hear this crowd really trying to hype up the Griffins here. It's going to be Fink with a little miscue. Can't get it to drop, but Harris is able to come down with the board. Now Lloyd debated the shot, decided not to get it with Count in her face. Lloyd now weighing her options of her own. The pressure coming from the Seton Hill side, and Count's able to get that one going, and now it's to Fry. Fry now waiting for her team to come up. Screen set by Harrelson, and she's going to drop. That's going to be Fry dropping off to Harrelson. Back to Fry now by the bench. That's Harris on the defensive end for the Vulcans, and that's going to be reset from the Griffins side here. Drops it off to Cowan, weighing her options now once again. Cowan tries to pull up for three with that shot clock running down. Can't get it to drop. And that's going to be Harrington coming back the other way. You know she could take it if she wants to. She's going to dump it off to Sierra Lloyd, and they're going to try and run a crafty little play, and a little miscue on that one. And you see Lloyd not too happy with that play. Fink wasn't there in time.
Yeah, I think she's yelling at Smith over there because she thought Smith was in the wrong spot. But in that first half, Sierra Lloyd had 13 assists in the first half to 1 turnover. We're waiting for an answer from our SID, Matt Kiefer. After that's no good, but we're waiting to see what the record for the most assists in a game for the Vulcans is, and we don't have an answer quite yet, but Lloyd definitely making her way towards the top if she keeps up like she did already.
Fry now has it. Smith on the defensive end for the Vulcans. Fry dumps it off to Cowan. Finds Harrelson at the top of the key. Harrelson trying to do some fancy footwork of her own, and that's going to be Seton. Seton now going, driving hard into the paint, and that's going to be a foul called against the Vulcans on that play from Seton.
Yeah, they're going to get this one against Harris, and I don't think that was necessarily a foul. They're going to get her on a block underneath of the basket. I think they're kind of making up for it because Fink got with that pump fake from Seton. They didn't call it then.
Harrelson puts it up and gets the and one on that one.
And just like that, now Harris and Fink both are going to catch another foul. So both of them will be at 3, and looks like the Vulcans are going to make a substitution. They're going to take out Harris. They're going to bring in Alicia Young once again. And talking about Fink for a second, we forgot to mention at the beginning of the game, in that game and the loss against IUP over the weekend, Rachel Fink had 21 rebounds, which is the most for Vulcans since 2003. So huge game from her, even despite the loss.
That's going to be no good shot from Harrelson as we get back to the action here. Sierra Lloyd crosses the logo. They're trying to direct traffic. as Alicia Young joins the game here. It's going to be blocked by Fry, but Lloyd's able to recover it. Seton now on the defensive end, a little trip up there, and Sierra Lloyd's not phased, and she puts it up, can't get it to go. Harrelson will come down with it, and now Fry's going to go barreling back the other way. Weighing her options here, trying to find the open lane. Blocked heavily by Lloyd under the basket. Harrelson comes down with it. Seton now for three, and no good off that one. And Fink comes down with it, and it will stay Vulcan's ball.
Yeah, great defense there by Fink. Let Fry run underneath and just got a good position behind Fry to prevent her from getting an angle on the basket, and Fry's shot went straight into the under part of the rim. So good defense by her and a good rebound by Fink, able to box out Haralson and force her to foul, and that's going to end up giving Haralson her third.
Smith now off the pass from Young, and Smith is able to drain that one.
Yeah, beautiful give and go that time. Young, as she's falling away, able to find Smith cutting towards the basket, and a good finish by Smith as she's moving. Not an easy layup to make there.
Harrelson has at the top of the key, finds Fry in the corner. Smith on the defensive end, and now she trades her off to Fink, and that's going to go against the Griffins. Will be Vulcan's ball on that one.
They're going to call another moving screen against Haralson, and she just picked up 2 quick fouls, so she's now sitting at 4, and then that's going to make her head towards the bench, and then the Griffins after that will bring in number 15, Corrine Eisner once again.
Eisner is no shy of minutes, and this already played a lot of that first half. Now that's going to be a bounce pass to Fink. Lloyd now resetting at the top of the key. Still some time on the shot clock, 17 seconds as Lloyd weighs her options, finds Fink in the paint. Fink puts it up, and it's dropping, and it's in. Little lip-in action over there, just to add some suspense.
Yeah, got the shooter's roll there that time. Rachel Fink, great find by Lloyd, getting it to Fink, and then Fink just able to finish off with that one. Seton Hill going to take a timeout, and that'll stop the clock. 6:58 left to go here in the third quarter. The Vulcans extend their lead to 10 now. And so far in the second half, it's been all California.
I don't want to say anything at this point after we watched that epic start in IUP coming out with 3 after 3 after 3. But it's definitely, if you're a Vulcans fan, you're in a little bit better shape than a Griffins fan at this point, I should say.
Yeah, it's a pretty good start. I think the main difference between that game and this game is the lead that the Vulcans had at halftime.
Definitely.
In that game, they're only up by 1 over IUP. And this one, they came in, I believe, up by 8 points. I mean, they've only extended the lead to 10, so only a 2-point difference. But it seems like they've been able to control the game so far. They're on an 11-2 run over their last 4 minutes of play, extending back into the first half. And they're 3 of their last 4 from three-point land. And then Seton Hill offensively have not been there. 1 out of their last 6 made shots. So California, that defense doing a great job at not giving them easy looks. And they did a good job at adjusting. Like I said, in those last 3 games and those 3 losses, the teams that they faced were really attacking that paint because the Vulcans not the tallest team in the PSAC West, so doesn't have the height advantage that a lot of these other teams have, and they've just been attacking them inside. But the Vulcans have done a great job here at preventing those passes inside and forcing more perimeter play.
Now we're going to return to the action with Fink at the line for the and one shot and adds that one on the board. Now Fry going to take it across that timeline there. Finds Seton. Seton, a dynamic sharpshooter for that Griffins side. Seton finds Fry once again. Smith gets a hand on it, but Fry's able to regain control on that one. Still kind of a little finicky at the top, but Fry's going to try and do it all herself. Gets blocked by Young, and now Lloyd's going to take it back the other way, and that's going to be Smith with the drop back basket on that one.
Yeah, Lloyd had all the options there. Could have taken it in herself, had Harrington and Smith either side, looked down Harrington for a good portion of it, forced the defender to come over, and then had Smith wide open on her left, and Smith able to finish cleanly.
Eisner passes it to Cowan. Cowan tries to pull up for 3. Can't get it to drop. It's going to be Young to come down with it. And Lloyd's going to come down back the other way. Drops it off to Harrington. You know she would have taken that shot if he had the opportunity. Now Lloyd's trying to find an opportunity of her own right and passes it to Fink, able to save it from going in out of bounds there. And they're going to call it Seton Hill ball on that one.
Yeah, Lloyd a little bit disappointed. Her pass towards Fink just a little bit too far ahead of her. Fink did a good job at trying to save it, trying to keep it in play, but just threw it straight back into the arms of the Griffins, and then Young trying to chase it down with the extra effort ended up fouling on the back end.
Sierra Lloyd's now at 15 assists this game alone. That's insane as Fry now pulls up for 3 and nothing but net on that one.
And the Vulcans have done a good job this game at containing Fry. Fry only now at 7 points. Usually the team leader in points for the Griffins, coming in and scoring about 13.7 a game. And she was a menace, I remember, in the last game that the Vulcans played here last season.
Now Lloyd trying to do it all herself and gets it to go. Also, that ball was so clean that net didn't even move. As Fry now barrels back the other way, and that's going to get ripped by Alicia Young for the Vulcans. That thing's all coming up Vulcans, and that pass is going to be too strong on that one. You can see the frustration on Sierra Lloyd's face right now.
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk about the last trip down the court for the Vulcans. Lloyd took it herself, was able to get a nice drive inside, and like you talked about, that layup was spectacular. The finger roll, the net didn't even move. Looked like something you see out of Steph Curry in the warm-up line. Like he throws that ball 50 feet in the air and it goes straight down. That's exactly what Lloyd just did on that last possession.
Fry now trying to be the guard here. They're trying to find something against this Vulcan defense to get out of this 57-44 hole they are, and they put it up, and that's going to be a good shot there from Eisner.
And that, like I talked about, that's what the teams have been able to exploit. When you have Harrington and you have Lloyd, two very small guards, and forced to defend inside, they're going to have to try to do something to prevent that from happening again.
Now driving to the net is Young and can get that one to drop also. I swear, every time Vulcans are on that side of the court, they're scoring right now.
Yeah, they cannot be stopped. Have been able to knock down every single shot. 5 out of their last 6 from the field.
And now Count has it with the old behind the back dribble, trying to trip up Young. Too strong off the boards there, and that's going to be Fink to come down with it. And now Sierra Lloyd's going to take it back, trying to slow things down over here, bleed as much time off that clock as possible. Sierra Lloyd's directing traffic. Fry gets a hand on her, and now it's going to be Smith back to Lloyd. 15 seconds left on that shot clock. 4 minutes and some change. Fink now in the paint. 10 seconds left. Fink trying to pull up with it, and again they get it.
Yeah, beautiful move that time by Raja Fink. Received the pass from Lloyd in the post and decided to take it herself. 2 little dribble moves, a nice combination, able to get the angle that she needed to knock down that little right-hand hook.
Mankins has it for the Griffins. Smith on the defensive end for the Vulcans. Mankins drops it off to McCown to Fry now. McCown with the pit. And that's going to be an and one for Fry as that basket's good.
Yeah, nice drive by Fry, able to get past Young, and if you're Young in that situation, you kind of just pull up. It's going to be very hard to try to get a hand and try to force a block. But that time, Young just wrapped her arm around Fry, trying to pull her back. But great adjustment by Fry to able to knock down that shot and able to make it to get the N1, as that will send us to another media timeout.
60-48, 3 and 37 seconds left on this clock, going into the fourth quarter here shortly. Right now it's been all California down in Greensburg. Big win if they are able to pull this one off in terms of PSAC West rankings.
And it's also going to be a big win in terms of just confidence, especially for the Vulcans. When you lose 3 games like that, and in the fashion that you lose them, it's going to be hard. Had chances in all 3 of those games.
It's not like they played poorly. That's the thing.
I know in the first 2 against Gannett and against Mercier, I was doing both of those games. They fell behind early in both of those games. Did a great job at battling back, and were able to pull the game within reach, but just couldn't quite grab it. It was there for the taking. They just couldn't get it. And then that game against IUP, like we talked about,
10-point lead in the third.
10-point lead in the third. They came out flying, but then as the game wore on, they just could not keep up with the Crimson Hawks, and they were able to take that one. And it just goes to show you that's what having kind of a shallow team does to you a little bit. The Vulcans don't play a super big rotation, 7 players at most. It's usually the starting 5 out there for the majority of the game, and as the game wears on, that is very, very detrimental to your team's stamina, to your team's ability to have that energy going late into the fourth quarter. And we saw that against IUP when they were able to just make all these substitutions and able to just keep these fresh bodies on the court, and kind of just a battle of attrition against the Vulcans, and they were able to win that one.
We are still seeing that here tonight, especially with the depth that the Seton Hill roster has. But Cal U is just coming back and just outplaying them physically. And Harrington gets another one to drop. I don't think she's missed a 3 yet tonight. 3:15 left. Fry now trying to take it her own, and they're going to call a foul on that one.
You're going to catch, I believe, Gilliard coming back. That foul's going to stay on the floor. The shot won't count. So the Griffins are going to inbound. Or no, they're actually going to, or they're going to count it, but not count the shot. So since that was the 5th foul, it's going to send the Griffins into the bonus. But Harrington on the night, 20 points for her, 7 for 8 from the field, 6 for 7 from 3. She's been lights out here tonight.
Fry drains her first foul shot here, still trying to get out of that 63-50 hole that the Griffins are in. Fry with her second shot, too short off there, and that's going to be Fink to come down with it. Lloyd now going to take her sweet old time crossing the timeline here. Lloyd trying to find a lane on the outside, finds Young, and now to Fink, back to Lloyd. Lloyd weighing her options, finds the man outside, and that's going to be Gilliard to drain that one.
Another beautiful pass. Gilliard just needs a little bit of space in that corner and able to knock it down. Another assist for Lloyd. That's going to be her 16th, and Raja Fink as well needs one more rebound for another double-double.
Back on that Seton Hill side of the court, they're really trying to make up some ground here. Mankins now has it on the offensive end. Burley now puts it up for 2 points. 52-66 now, as we're just before that 2-minute mark going into the 4th quarter. Sarah Lloyd has it at the top of the key, finds Smith, able to thread the needle there. That was an impressive pass. Fink puts it up, can't get it to go, but they will get the foul call in favor of the Vulcans.
Yeah, I mean, when you're passing like that, it's got to be tough for the other team. Lloyd, like you said, just threaded the needle, super, super tight window, and able to just fit that in. And credit to Smith as well, had a ton of pressure and still was able to find Fink on the backside. Fink almost able to get the shot to go, left a little bit short, but got fouled on her way up, and that'll send her to the free throw line. I almost said the layup line.
It is the layup line.
I was just thinking about it. I almost said it.
I stand by that. Gary said I could say it once, so you said it for me. Now we can say it twice. Anyway, now Fink at the layup line there, misses the first shot. But, again, it's not as imperative with a 66-52 lead. With not that much time left to play. Fink now with her second shot and gets that one to drop, so she's able to convert on one of the 2 shots there. Gonna go back the other way now, back onto that Seton Hill side, trying to direct traffic, make them play some Seton Hill ball, which we have not seen most tonight. It's mostly just been Vulcan ball, able to go for the shot there and gets that one to drop. That's going to be Courtney Thomas credited with that bucket for the Griffins. Back onto that Vulcan side. Fink has it at the top of the key, throws it out to Harrington, and why not? Let's put up another one. And Hallie is on fire here tonight. You can see the intensity in her eyes.
23 points for her tonight, 7 for 8 from 3. She's been automatic.
And Fry puts up an impressive basket of her own right, able to drain that one, put 2 more on the board. Cal is now 70-56, 1 minute and 20 left. Finds Smith wide open in the paint. You can't leave Smith wide open like that, but she can't make it. That's going to be a kicker, and that's going to go back the other way into Seton side. Fry has it, driving to the basket, kicks it out to the outside. Poor pass there, but they are able to recover it, and that will be Maddie Moore credited with that 2-pointer for the Griffins.
I mean, both teams just trading points. They're going back and forth, and California need to stabilize a little bit on the defensive end. It's nice that they're scoring, but the shots are going to be able to go, and they need to be able to get stops on the other end.
That pass goes in and had the hands of Fink, and now the board fight for it on the ground. Jump ball called there. Waiting for it's going to go in favor of the Vulcans on possession there.
And one thing I wanted to mention, we haven't seen much of Alicia Harris in this half. She has been in a little bit of foul trouble, but in that first half, tied her season high in points in the first half alone. 17 points for her in that first half, which tied her for on the season when she had 17 against Fairmont.
Oh, and Smith can't get that one to drop either. Going to be a foul called there. Going to go back the other way. Sape obviously does not agree with that call.
I mean, I agree with the call. It's just a silly one to give up because Fink. Smith missed the shot, and even though Seton Hill were able to get the rebound, Fink kind of just hacked at it, which is not something that you want to do because now she's at 4 with an entire quarter left to play. You still have a comfortable lead here if you're California, but you don't want one of, if not your best player, to not be able to play much of the 4th quarter because they're in foul trouble. And now she's going to have to head to the bench, and as she gets substituted out for Alicia Harris, who just came back in.
Count at the line for shots here following that foul call. 39.8 left. First one is no good.
Just like I said, it's just like
just a kicker.
A dumb foul to give
Yeah.
up. You know, it's the end of the quarter. There's not much is happening, and it's not one that you need to give. And you lazily give one like that, and now you're not going to be able to play for a large chunk of that fourth quarter because you don't want to get that fifth foul.
Haley Count converts on one of those foul shots there. Still in a bit of a hole from that Vulcan offense, and now Lloyd puts it up and gets it to drop for an and one.
Yeah, Lloyd hasn't made much in terms of scoring on the offense. She's been setting it up for the most part. 17 assists, by the way, on the afternoon here.
That's wild. That's a crazy statistic.
I agree, but that time had a nice drive in, and we've seen her do that time and time again, just these like crazy circus shots where she goes in there.
Her passes here tonight have been something special.
Yeah, I mean, she goes in there, she tries to draw contact, and she does, and is somehow able to get the shot to go, but can't make the free throw, however.
20 seconds and some change here left on the clock going into the fourth. They have time to run a play, but they are trying to make sure that Vulcans don't have time to get a shot off if they are able to get it back. Trying to use all of that clock are the Griffins. 6 seconds left, shot clock's off, and they get the call! And this place is going wild with that jumper!
Yeah, that's exactly what the Griffins needed. Beautiful movement all around, and that time I believe it was Fisher, number 20, who just was able to receive that pass, got a nice position inside, and drew the foul as well. So she's able to convert this. It cuts the lead down to 10, and
that's definitely manageable going into the fourth.
A lot more manageable than what it would have been.
Fisher at the line for one following that one and gets it to go. As State mentioned, now within 10. This hole does not seem as deep as it did, but the Vulcans and and that one lifted, that one hurt. That felt like a punch to the gut there.
Yeah, so close. Got the ring around and thought maybe it was going to just fall back in, but just missed.
Seton Hill now 10 down. Definitely not a position that you obviously want to be in with 10 minutes left on this clock, but it's manageable. It's not like they're 20 down, 15, like as we saw earlier.
Absolutely, and their offense has been on fire. Looking at these stats here, they are 8 out of their last 9 from the field, so definitely something that the Vulcans are going to have to be wary of. But while we have a second, we do have to say, and we have to shout out Vulcan Village. If you're a California Vulcan and you're looking for a place to stay, the Vulcan Village is the place to be. I keep saying. I mean, that's where you got to go.
You got a pool. You got a volleyball court.
You got Tom Caton.
Caton's corner, lovely.
He's there.
I love that photo of Blaze.
Blaze,
I just really enjoy that.
He might be in one of the rooms.
I just legitimately, I like that. He just looks so relaxed.
Yeah, he's just chilling out, but like I said, you can schedule a tour here today. They have virtual tours. You can schedule one in person as well. Check out their website and schedule a tour today for Vulcan Village.
They got a pretty sweet clubhouse also, and free parking, and a shuttle. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the shuttle takes you to and from campus. It takes you to Walmart as well in Brownsville.
There is a shuttle that takes you to Pittsburgh.
And there's one there you go. I mean, a nice shuttle to take you to Pittsburgh. You're paying all that money. I
think the shuttle's only like $5. It's not crazy.
I mean, if you're paying all that money to live there, at least you get some nice.
You get some nice amenities.
You do get some nice amenities.
Stuff that you can't see really in the dorms. Really, you get a kitchen also. That's the biggest thing.
You get a kitchen, like you said, single room as well. We keep talking about it. It's lovely. Check out Vulcan Village.
Check out next week also when we talk even more about, like, we'll just there's so many amenities to talk about.
We'll talk about it on Wednesday too, and the Vulcans take on Mansfield.
Cowan inbounds it to the other Cowan. That's probably my favorite sentence to say here.
The Cowan connection.
Oh, I love that. And Seton now has it with the old fake out. And his Blaze is spinning. Can't get it to drop, though, and Lloyd's going to come down with it for the Vulcans. Lloyd's going to try and bleed some clock here as she crosses the line. This place is getting wild. I love how enclosed it is because you really can just hear everything. Lloyd has an open lane, gets tripped up. And the fans want a travel call, but they're not going to get it.
Yeah, that time, I think I kind of understand what they're coming from. I think Lloyd got bailed out a little bit. That was number 3, Helene Cowan, who just tripped up Lloyd. And if there isn't a stray foot type situation in there, that's going to be a travel call against Sierra Lloyd.
And there's Smith to come down with that one. You know, we've seen her a couple times in the paint, hasn't been able to get much to drop, but she gets that one to add on to that Vulcan lead. Harrelson dumps it off to the corner. Now they pull up for three, and that one's going to rim out and comes in the hands of Young, and now Lloyd's going to take it back the other way, 74-62.
Yeah, after that last basket by Smith, 4 Vulcans now in double digits in terms of scoring with Harrington, Smith, Harris, and Fink.
Harrington pulls up for three. Can she make another one? And that's going to rim out and go in the hands of the Griffins. Griffins now coming back the other way. They have a lane if they want to take it. Spin move pass. Lloyd and a travel call. No good basket anyway.
Yeah, good defense that time by Lloyd. Did not let Cowan fool her. Cowan had some nice moves, but as she was spinning, kind of just fell over. And good, like I said, good defense by Lloyd, just staying in front of her man and making sure that she couldn't get past her.
Back to the action here. Sierra Lloyd crosses the logo. 74-62. Coach Strom really trying to control that offense from the sideline. Young has a shot if she wants to take it. No good, rimmed out. Fight for it. Harrington goes down hard on that one, but Fry is able to recover. Fry now gets the pressure from Lloyd. Seton pulls up and gets 3 on that one.
And Seton and the Griffins did a great job at doing what you need to do in that situation. Harrington fell down and she was kind of slow to get up, so they had the advantage to go the other way. A nice drive inside by Fry to force a little bit of a gravity towards her from the Vulcan defenders to get Seton open, and Seton able to knock down the shot. I mean, now it's a 9-point game.
Definitely manageable, and that pass is stolen away by Seton. Seton has the breakaway. Can she make it? Oh no, and Fry gets a tip on that one. Fight for it again as Cowan recovers it. Still able to get something cooking off the steal from Seton. Seton had the opportunity to get that, and she's going to call a travel against Seton. Going to go back the other way.
Yeah, and you can see the fans down below is getting a little bit more into it. Seton had her opportunity, and they're giving the referee on the other end of the court a little bit of stick, but Seton had the ball, just took a step or two before she was able to lay down that dribble, what she needed to, and ended up in another turnover, and that's going to be the 12th of the game here for the Griffins.
Smith now has it, throws it back to Lloyd, really just trying to bleed as much off this clock as possible, but the Griffins have been putting a ton of pressure on defense. Lloyd now drives it. She has a lane and gets it to go.
Yeah, nice finish from her, and that ends the Vulcan scoring draw. They didn't score in about 2 minutes, so they're able to get themselves on the board again.
And now back on that Seton Hill side. Seton has it in the corner, trying to weigh her options here. Finds a lane in the paint, throws it up. No good, but will get the foul call.
And so far in this game, she's 5 for 5 for the line, 15 points for her. So you expect, like I said this in the last game, you expect her to make both of these. And if she's able to do so, you bring it back to a single-digit deficit. If she's able to knock down both, they'll bring it back to 9. Like we talked about, the Vulcans still have to be careful. Seton Hill, 1 out of their last 4, but Fry catching fire as well, 3 of her last 4 from the field. And so she's, and Seton as well has been fantastic. And so the Vulcans still need to be careful that Seton Hill don't start to catch fire here in the last 7:20.
Definitely cut that lead down as Sierra Lloyd takes it across the line here. You can hear the McKenna Seton really trying to pull their Griffins in back into this one. Pick set from Harrington. Lloyd trying to find a lane. Pull up mid-range jumper. No good. And the Griffins will get the board off that one. Cowan now has it coming back down the other way. She's going to let her team catch back up to her. Mankings now in the corner. Back to Cowan. Really trying to weigh their options. The 3 would be really helpful if they could get it, and that's going to be Harris who gets a hand on that one. Little fight for it, but Harrington's going to come down with it as Sierra Lloyd with the assist on the steal. Now Sierra Lloyd going to take it back the other way. 6 minutes and some change here. Really just trying to take as much time off this clock as possible. Harrington has a lane, gets blocked by the Griffins of Cowan. Seto's now going to take it back the other way. The crowd wants them to push the pace on this one, but they're going to wait until they get a really good play to get as much points as possible off this one. Obviously, a 3 is what they are looking for, but that's hard to come by against Coach Strom's defense. And now Mankins trying to find Seton. Seton pulls up for 3 and gets it to go.
A good defense that time by Gilliard, but Seton has been knockdown. That's going to be 3 for 5 for her, and the Vulcans are going to call a timeout. 6:04 left to play. The Vulcans still up by 6, and I mean the Griffins on a 5-0 run in their last 138. So California just kind of need to take call this timeout to take a breath, kind of talk strategy, think things over. And this last couple of minutes shows you why that foul by Fink in that third quarter has been huge, because she hasn't been able to play at all in this quarter. She was at the subs bench before the Vulcans took that timeout. And when she's on the court, the defense is better, and then on the offensive end, it's different. You have another option, you have another outlet, and have someone else that can do everything. And since she hasn't been in there, this offense in the last couple minutes has been pretty stale from the Vulcans. 1 out of their last 5 from the field. So it's been pretty rough goings for them, and that's allowed Seton Hill back in the game.
Definitely. I also want to point out, as we kind of alluded to earlier, the Vulcans bench isn't that deep. It's kind of the same 5 to 7 players we see on a typical rotation. This is the point of the games they always struggle with, because it's the same 5 to 7 people, whereas we've seen the Griffins make trios upon trios of substitutions.
Yes.
We wanted... Sorry, Save, I cut you off there.
All I'm saying, so far in this game, the Vulcans have played 7 players in the game in total, and the Griffins have played 11. So they've had a lot more rotation, and like we talked about, those players, especially the starters, have been able to get more minutes. So far in this game, Lloyd and Harrington have played the full 34. They played every single minute of this game so far, and then the most for the Griffins has been Fry in 31 minutes. So every single member, especially of that that starting 5 for the Griffins, has been able to rotate in and out, get the rest that they need. And so when it comes to a game like this, when you're down the stretch, when you need to get back into the game, you're not absolutely gassed.
Harrington gets that one. Lloyd was able to pass it off with the double team coverage, even by the logo. Fink now back in this one, and Fink's going to put it up, rimmed in and good off the glass.
Exactly what the Vulcans needed. They bring Raja Fink back in, and she does what she does best. She's able to control that post, likes that hook shot quite a bit, has great post moves, able to just get her space and able to knock down the shot, and brings the Vulcans back to a comfortable 8-point lead.
Seton has it. A little crafty shot to just try and get that one. Somebody went down hard on that Griffins side. I think Fry took an elbow to the face, it looked like.
Yeah, it looks like they blew the whistle. The Griffin would be number 22, Sakira Haralson. They didn't call a foul, but the referee called a personal timeout to make sure she was all right, because it looks like you said, she just came down on her face. And so hopefully everything's all right with her, as they're going to take a quick timeout, and both teams are going to go talk for a second, but now we're going to get back into play.
Always good. No physical injury was
it seems
just like a little wind knocked out of her, I want to say.
It seems like everything. I mean, it's especially dangerous. You don't, like, the head injuries are the most serious. You don't, like, you have to be able to stop that at any point just to make sure that she's all right. And from the looks of it, she's back out there playing, so I think everything's okay with her.
Sarah Lloyd back at this one. Passes it to Smith. Smith really just trying to outweigh her options. Has Harrington set a screen. Bounce pass to Harris and gets that one to go. Now a 10-point lead once again for the Vulcans.
The first basket we've seen from Harris in quite a bit now, with her season high of 19 points. And she's been a big reason why the Vulcans have been able to command this game here today.
Seton has it at the top there. Sets the pick from Harrelson. Seton weighing her options. Throws it to Cowan. Cowan to Harrelson in the paint. Harrelson trying to make some moves there and creates the space and gets it to go. 4:36 left in this one. 80-72. Definitely a high score here in the McKenna Center. And now Lloyd pulls up for two. Too strong, rims out. Cowan's going to come down with that one. Throws it off to Fry from the Griffins to Seton. Seton wanted the shot, but it just wasn't there. Seton now to the outside. They're going to reset top there. Back to Fry. Now setting the screen are the Griffins. Fry now really does not have much to go off of. Counts wide open for 3, and that one's going to be off the money. And they're able to get the board there as the pressure is at the net. And now Fry for 3, and gets it go on the second chance there.
That brings in a 5-point game, and this is where the Vulcans need to prove what they're made of. I don't want to say their season is on the line, but this would be huge. I mean, if they go down a 4-game losing streak, they need to be able to keep tough here.
Fink almost got a hold of that one there. Now fight for it on the bottom, and Fink got tripped hard by Fry, and Oh, you can see the devastation on her face from up here.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much she could do about it. Fry was down on the ground fighting for the rebound, and that time
Fink did a 360 in the air.
She got tangled up with her, and I mean, you could say there's some theatrics involved. But
there was a lot of theatrics.
But I mean, at the end of the day, she impeded or blocked. It was a blocking foul. She blocked Lloyd from being able to move, and it forced the foul. And you can see Coach Wilkins there for the Griffins on the far side, just livid about that. And I mean, it was a good chance for the Griffins to turn the tide.
And now Smith had the shot, doesn't take it. I don't know why she did. Honestly, I don't know why. She was wide open up there.
To waste some time is the best guess that I have. I mean,
she had the shot.
Yeah, but you get a full 30 after the inbound, so you have a chance to take off some time off the clock.
Fink can't get that shot to Joe, and they're able to recover that, or the Griffins. Now it's going to go back the other way from the outside. Didn't have the shot to take the three as Fink got there in time to put the pressure on the defense. Kicks it out to the outside to Seton. Now to Harrelson at top of the key. Now to Fry. Harris takes the coverage away from Harrington on that. Fry weighing her options there. Fry gets blocked by Harris. Can't get that shot to drop, but will get the foul call.
Yeah, so far Seton on a 5-0 run, and Fry has a chance to extend that. And like we talked about, this Vulcan offense throughout the game has looked good and has looked very bad. And right now, they just seem to lack ideas. Lloyd in the game has 18 assists, but on these last couple of possessions been getting pressured a lot, so she hasn't been able to influence that offensive end quite as much as Fry knocks down the first free throw. And I mean, California need to be able to come up with something here in the last 3 minutes, because if they're not able to score a point here down the stretch, Seton Hill are going to take this.
They also really need to watch these fouls. You can't give up free points like that this late in the game, especially, you know, they have a 10-point lead, but every single time they have a 10-point lead, Seton Hill comes back and trims it. It is a two-possession ball game right now, folks. Sarah Lloyd has it. They are trying to find the lane of her own. The old spin move from Lloyd, and she's able to add on to that lead. 82, now 76. Sarah Lloyd with that one.
Exactly what they needed. Great job by Lloyd. Got a little bit of separation, got to her spot where she wanted to, and able to knock it down.
Thomas has it at the top of the key here. Thomas trying to find the open man, finds Harrelson in the paint, and they're going to call a foul on that one, and it will go in favor of the Griffins. And it will be on Harris.
And that's going to be her fifth. And so Alicia Harris, who's had a fantastic game, that's going to be the end of her night. 19 points, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block for her. And now she's going to have to go to the bench and watch as Alicia Young will come back in for the last 2:26 left in this game.
It's also going to be the second consecutive game that Harris is fouled out of late in the game. But now Young is going to come in the game here, and it's going to be inbounds by the Griffins. Seton now has it, trying to find the open man on the outside. Fry has it, fighting for it, and that's going to be another foul called in favor of the Griffins.
And with that one, that's going to be the Vulcans' 5th of the quarter. That's going to be Smith's 4th. So that is going, I believe.
It's going to stay on the floor. So that's
okay,
good.
Actually, that was their 4th foul. Never mind. I mean, if that was their 5th, they would have been shooting free throws. So 4th foul. So the Vulcans have.
Oh, I like the leg kicks.
That was their last one to give before the Griffins get to the bonus.
Cow now trying to find Harrelson in the paint. Harrelson can't get a drop, but again, another foul.
Yeah, they're going to get Young on this one. That'll be the 5th foul. So that officially at the 5th foul. But Vulcans are lucky that she didn't score that one, because if she knocks that one down, makes the free throw, you're back to a 3-point game. And so the Vulcans just need to recover. They seem a little bit rattled over the last couple of minutes, and Coach Strom's team's usually pretty mentally strong. The Vulcans need to kind of weather this storm, and they need to get an answer here. They need to be able to get a good possession on the other end, on the offensive side of the ball, to just get some points, because they just have not been able to score 1 out of their last 4 from the field, and made like 1 basket in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Harrelson with her second shot, and gets 2 for 2 there. 82-78. We're sweating up here off this one, I'm going to say. 2 minutes and 7 seconds left. And this McKenna Center crowd is going wild here tonight. Lloyd trying to bleed as much time off the clock. 15 seconds on that shot clock. Here, screen set by Young. Lloyd pulls up, jumper! It's bouncing and it's in!
Yeah, once again,
that was...
Oh my goodness, Smith
got a hand on that one. and then sorted into the stands.
Yeah, but great job that time by Lloyd once again. And these types of situations, we see Sierra Lloyd take over quite a bit, and that time took the screen from Harris, or from Young, excuse me, and just got to her spot and knew that she was going to be able to knock it down if she was able to just get to that spot on the court. She did so and gives the Vulcans a 6-point lead again.
Count has it, jumps it off to Seton. Pass almost stolen by Young, and that's going to be a miscue pass there. Maybe a game-costing error by the Griffins, as Lloyd's going to bleed as much time off the clock as possible. Just over a minute left in this game here. Big game in terms of PSAC rankings. Flop from Fry, and she's not going to get the call that she wants there. Young's able to save that one off the miscue pass. Harrington has it. You know she could take the shot if she wants it. 5 seconds left. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and that's going to be a foul called against the Griffins. And the crowd is not in favor of that one.
The Vulcans got bailed out there a little bit. Could have maybe seen a shout for Lloyd on an offensive foul, but luckily that'll give them 20 seconds on the shot clock. But like you talked about on that last defensive possession from California, we're able to get that steal, but they need to convert here on this end if they want to try to close this game out. They need to get a good shot off, and they need to be able to make it. And it looks like off this inbound, they're going to start double teaming Lloyd and forcing someone else.
Harrington wide open. Oh my goodness, she could take that shot if she wants. We got to calm down a little bit,
Yeah, just waste as much time as possible. Now we're under a minute.
6 seconds left. A lucky break there on that one. That pass is going to go right to Harrelson. And you've seen Sierra Lloyd with some questionable passes here tonight. And that's going to be a great basket there from the Griffins. That's Cowan to come down with 2 there. Lloyd going to bleed the clock. Griffins are going to put the heavy pressure on. Harrington has some room, and now the double pressure coverage there, and a timeout will be called by Coach Strom.
Yeah, I mean, you could see Coach Wilkins for the Griffins. I mean, he was on the court. He was on the court, he was on the court. He was there. He was trying to get his team to come up and pressure. And I mean,
this is gonna be Coach Carsey. Coach Wilkins is the coach of the men's team.
Yeah,
you're looking at Johnny's sheet.
Looking at the wrong sheet, but he was just trying to get his team to come up and press, and they weren't doing so. They were kind of backing off the ball. So California lucked out a little bit, able to waste some more time. And so if you're Seton Hill in this timeout, you need to figure out how to foul, because you're not going to be able to make up 4 points, because the Vulcans, if they're able to get this full shot clock, they're going to wind it down to 9 seconds. So what the Griffins need to do in this timeout is just make it to where they foul the Vulcans' worst free throw shooter and just force them to the line. Hopefully they make them miss and they're able to get some 3-pointers on the other end. And if you're California, you're trying to figure out a way to make sure that you're able first to inbound the ball, because Seton Hill are going to do a good a job where they're going to do the leg kick thing that you like. They're going to try to prevent.
I was not prepared for
They're
that.
going to try to prevent California from inbounding the ball.
I just thought that was a very clever way of creating space, and it also looked very theatrical.
Yeah, I mean, all it does is just try to take up as much space in front of the person as possible to prevent them from inbounding the ball.
Lloyd has it at the top of the key. 20-some-odd seconds left in this one, in multiple possession game, and shocker, a foul called on that one.
Yeah, but nice job by Lloyd there, using her acceleration to get away from a few members of the Griffins. And with that, she's going to be able to waste a few more seconds off the clock. And Seton are going to make some substitutions. They're going to take Fry out because they don't want her to foul out. So they're going to send someone in place of her just a foul.
Fisher now really trying to play catch-up with Lloyd, and they're going to foul her on that one. The one thing, if you're a Vulcans fan, that is in favor, it is a multiple possession game. It's 84-80. It's not, I'd be a little bit more concerned if it was 83-80.
And once again, then now Lloyd's going to go to the line to shoot 2, has a chance to extend that lead.
The question I have is, will Sierra Lloyd's glasses come off again?
I mean, there's always a potential. She makes the first, which is a good sign, but another thing I want to detail, on that second inbound pass, she did another good job at just running around and wasting as much time as possible.
And that's going to be no good on that second one, and then the timeout will be called from the Griffin side to preserve as much time as possible. 18.1 left in this game, and this arena has just fallen silent.
Yeah, and with that timeout, the Griffins do have the chance to move up the ball where they look to inbound it, so that would be interesting to see whether or not they choose to advance the ball to their side of the court.
They also are going to put in some subs, which is an interesting move.
Yeah, they're going to bring back into the game 14 Haley Cowan and the number 21, it looks like Maddie Moore. Moore, a 6-foot senior guard / forward from Vandergrift, Pennsylvania, went to Apollo Ridge. So someone nearby, but they're just going to bring in some big bodies who, if they're able to get a pass underneath, just find someone, get it there underneath, try to get a quick basket, and then force a turnover off the inbounds play from Cal.
They are also both Moore and Cowan. They can shoot. So if you need them, whether to create space or take a shot, they're your people to put in. So good call from the Griffins side. Also just get some fresh legs on the court here. 85-80, multiple possession game. And we are back underway. And Fry's going to be back in the game as well for the Griffins. Fry now barreling down. Miscue pass a little too good for their own quickness. And that's going to be Fink to come down with it. And not 100% certain why we stopped play there. I think.
Well, Moore fouled her.
Oh, okay,
trying
that
to get
makes
back.
sense.
So now, I mean, she did the right thing. She fouled to stop the clock, and now is going to have to force Raja Fink to make these free throws. Fink on the season, a 78% free throw shooter at the line, so has a chance to ice the game here if she's able to make them.
85-80, Fink with their first shot and gets it to go. Things are looking bleaker here for the Griffins as this game goes on. Fink with her second shot off the Moore foul and gets it to go as well. And another timeout will be called for the Griffins.
Yeah, I mean, the options here for Seton Hill, they're limited. I mean, it's possible 7 points in a little under 12 seconds, but you're going to have to go quickly here if you're the Griffins. They look like they chose to advance the ball after this timeout, so they're going to have the ball inside the half court. They're going to be able to get a quick 3 off, and then after that, you're looking to prevent California from inbounding the ball at all. You're going to just send everyone in the face to stop. But while we have a second, we can take a look at the upcoming schedule here for California. Obviously, the game on Wednesday against Mansfield and crossover play, UPJ on the weekend, and then 2 road games back-to-back against the sister schools in Clarion and Edinburgh, and then finishing up with Slippery Rock and Gannon on that back end of the graphic there. So, like we talked about, the standings here in the PSAC West for the women's section, super, super close, especially in the middle of the pack. So if the Vulcans are able to hold out here, it would be a huge win for them, and it would be huge for their playoff implications.
Haley Cowan to inbounds this one for the Griffins. Things are again looking bleaker. 87-80 to Fry on the outside. Fry now has it. They really need to get a shot off here, and that's going to be another shot no good from the Griffins, and that's going to be Young to come down within a foul called on that one. 2.7 left on this clock.
Yeah, that was the Griffins' opportunity, but they just took too much time. It took them almost 10 seconds to inbound the ball and get a shot off, which is not what you need at all. You needed to get that shot off in like 3, not even to try to get it back, and that'll send Alicia Young to the line.
Young now at the line following that foul. First one is off the money. Young now with her second shot. Really 2 seconds left. I don't know what else can happen after this one. Sarah's going to come down with that. And triple zeros are left on that one. And with that, California has snapped their losing streak, taking the Griffins 87-80. And that's all she wrote here in this opening game. Stay tuned for the men's game. You're watching CUTV Sports 1 in the PSAC Network.